I was gonna wait to do this, but if I wait any longer, we're doomed. The population bomb is already here. 2030. Earthquake. Texas. Sleeping on the floor with my mat, my bed. All this fracking they've been doing in Texas. The wastewater treatment oil in Oklahoma. Tied record last year. Biggest earthquake on record history. It's all this overpopulation. We have way too many people everywhere. It's our number one threat. This little girl was killed in New Mexico 2 weeks ago or a week ago. The mother and the boyfriend, or her cousin, and the boyfriend's wife or cousin, something like that. They injected her with methamphetamines, and then stabbed her, raped her, choked her, and then dismembered her, and then burned her body in the bathtub. I mean, these things are horrible. Lithium, the most polluted city on the planet. About 3 or 4 years ago, this Chinese boy was lured by his aunt. I think it was his aunt. Yeah. And then she told him, "Don't say anything, and I won't rip your eyes out." And she ripped his eyes out. And that's why they stopped the one-child policy, because they thought it was, causing a lot of problems with the stress. And the government said, the Chinese government said it was the worst crime they've ever witnessed, and they gave him some new eyes. They weren't functioning eyes, but a cosmetic thing. You have in New Mexico, happened around the same time. This mother and her group of her friends were in a drug binge, and she ate her own son's eyes out. I mean, these occurrences, families murdering their children, and this usually happens when things get really bad, when the overpopulation starts coming. But you have to understand, human history, it's coming to the point where it will peak and then go down. So my point of this is, what I've been doing is I took 2 years electrical engineering. I never finished my degree for various reasons. I got my eyes injured and other things, and but so now I'm coming back to it. College is a scam. I'm learning on my own, and if you look at the circuits, have been getting smaller and smaller. Well, the components, the SMD, surface mount devices. They used to be that. Now they're so tiny. How are you, when the whole planet completely implodes, how are you going to salvage those components? I've been trying to figure this out. I was thinking maybe you take the IC chip. If there was a way you could do some kind of, they have these socket adapters, but you have to desolder it or take it out in some way. If you could put it on top, if you look at those RJ45 the phone jacks, remember those little lines? If you could do something like that, that you could like a Lego, kind of stretch it or something. Do it in a way where you don't have to desolder an adaptable socket. That would be a good thing for me to fund. Do kind of bid solicitation, kind of a crowdfunding thing. I might do that. But the thing is, how are you going to salvage these parts if they're that small? I mean, there's going to be bigger components, of course, but I've been trying to figure a way to what's the ultimate thing you can create from that. That's useful, because I've created things that, when you get down to it, the motor, they're in everything. They're in your car. They're in your tools. You're in your fan, turning, the spinning. That's useful, but I can do a manual system that doesn't use electricity that does the same thing. But so it depends on the climate that you're in. and your viability, you know, your economy, if it's sustainable for you to have that. Because basically our tech is, it's a luxury. For example, there's this sound device that I'm developing because I'm autistic, where super sensory, we're super sensory, we're very sensing on things. So for me, the sounds come everywhere. So I need a way to, it would be a good way for me to, if I could detect which sounds are very, at what level they'll be harmful at. Because I saw this one video where it said, or some writing that said, all the sounds sound at the same volume. I don't think that's exactly accurate, but, you know, so I don't know at which level that I'm hearing is going to be damaging. So my detector device would tell me, okay, or it'll move, and it'll say, okay, this sound is very bad. You gotta get away from it. Well, it's really bad, and it's gonna damage your hearing. Even softer sounds at long durations can be harmful. So, and then some sounds that are really loud can instantly harm you. But if the whole planet was, you know, wiped off in the, I mean, you know, we had the apocalypse thing, and will I need that device? I could fashion it from bigger components, but would it be necessary at that point? I don't know yet. I may be more concerned with other things. I mean, I have that device because there's so many sounds in our modern technology that, and you know, with my lifestyle and everything, what we have in here, you know, salvage parts and stuff. So, you know, that's something I'll have to think about another time. But I'm doing this because of the lights are actually super censoring me. See, I don't know if it's because of my autism that I'm light sensitive, because there are a lot of autistics that are light sensitive, negative connotation. I damaged my eyes because I stared at the sun. I shouldn't have. I got my eyes dilated sloppily by the lady who spilled all over my eyes with the dilation liquid. But I think maybe because I stared at the sun that maybe it facilitated that. But discovering that other autistics have this problem, it may be because we do things like staring at the sun, or don't, you know, all the sensory overload, where we end up accidentally harming our eyes. I don't know, but I don't think of my autism as something necessarily not bad thing. It's like if you're the it's like the Hulk. The Hulk, I know there are different iterations of him, but if you have the calm iteration of the Hulk, you know, becoming the Hulk, the radiation exposure, the harmful, the trauma and stuff, you don't want to become the Hulk. But if you're already the Hulk, then that's fine. So it's the step, the transitioning effect. So am I better off with you neurotypicals, you 99%ers, you non-autistics, compared with me? No. I'm in the same boat as you. It's how do I say it? Because there are, it's an adaptability. You know, I have my super intelligence, super this, super that. But at the same time, your world like a fish out of water. I can't take your sounds and your machinery of all the sounds that you guys overpopulation doing like that in so many ways. You know, nobody can stand overpopulation, but for me it's 6 times fold for us. So there's a balancing effect. Some people say autism is an evolutionary thing. You know, our world is getting so bad where people are evolving to be like this, to like me. But So we really need to stop breeding now. And this thing about quantum mechanics, luck, chance, doesn't exist. The Kashmir effect, is it the Kashmir effect? The Copenhagen interpretation of the, of the slit interpretation, the cat, Schroeder's cat wasn't meant to be what people are interpreting as. He meant it as like a joke, or like, yeah, something that's, people are interpreting it opposite. Schroeder and Einstein agreed. God does not play dice with the universe. So this thing about people thinking that the electron, what was it? No, the photon splits. So you see into both slits, two slits, and one. It's ridiculous because, hold on. It was the measuring instrument. They couldn't measure it. The instrument wasn't capable of measuring it. So they said, oh, it must have split in two. That's why Einstein was like, what? People, it's propagated. This misinformation, people. So my point with this quantum computers that they're creating, why are they half wrong? It's because the splitting on two, they think it can split in two. Like me, like, oh, there's two of me now. So with my studies of the EE, I'm thinking, how far can we take it? The farthest we can take it, it seems, is the quantum mechanics, a computer with atoms, little atoms. But if we're interpreting these atoms incorrectly, at the quantum level, the atoms incorrect, the splitting thing, even if we are interpreting it wrong, you can still create a good computer. I mean, like we said, it's all in our head, right? We're interpreting things from what we're seeing. Like dogs can only see black and white, we can see color. So we're seeing this world is actually interpreting in our mind, but so we're, like, I say this, just to me, it's like some people see colors differently, they discover, right? This to me is orange. You might call it, well, orange, or dark orange, or even brownish. You might call it that too, but you might actually be seeing it like green back there, So it's my interpretation of what this is, but it doesn't mean that you can't use it as what you're using it for. I say this is a plate, but you might say it's a flying saucer from the planet Neptune. But if we're both using it to eat food out of, okay, and we're sustaining ourselves in that way, right? So, but we're all trying to get into space with all this. Outer space, ultimately. Overpopulation, outer space. Get off this planet. We might not be able to. Maybe that's a safeguard. It's a buffer zone. But my whole point is, if from what we're doing, if we can't even do the right things, which is not, I mean, okay, there's just our amazing technology. The Bible has a quote: if you can't even take care of the small things, how do you expect to do the big things? If we can't even take care of the basics, which is admitting that overpopulation is our number one threat of everybody, how can you expect to get into outer space? You can't even take care of the basic problems. It's completely stupid. People can't get funding now, the scientists, because of overpopulation diluting everything. People are becoming more aware now. Yeah. People, us prophets, saying, no, don't do this, don't do that, it's coming. And then at the end, it all collapses. So, hold on. So ultimately, DMT, us autistics are full of DMT. If you neurotypicals could take our DMT, I'm creating a product that I could change you into us, and then you'll be living in my world. But is that the right thing to do? Then you will see what I see. That may be the only way to rescue the entire planet. So my product's not ready yet. It may take me a year, within a year, but I'm telling you now. So if you want, spread the news, get hooked on the DMT, and for the love of God, stop breeding.